Hello, hello. Welcome, oil runners. We are live for the first time we've been live a long time ago, but right now we're live again. So we're going to see how this is going to go. And Joe Ray is going to be our first guinea pig. So on the show.
Right.
Let's just try it. So you guys can chime in, ask us questions. Please keep the trolling away from that because we are not about that on the show. We are about having fun, inspiring others, learning and growing from each other. And whatever gifts we have, we're just having a good time like a family. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so we are just going to be talking about we're going to talk about what we're grateful to about. So without further ado, we have Mr. Joe Way, who is an actor, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're a teacher as well, or was it the tutor? But
Correct.
you deal with radio as well, and I know you live in Florida, so
Yes.
and all that. So we want to know all about you. Who are you? What do you do? And what's your deal, man?
What's my deal? Well, that's what my students ask me every day. What's your deal, man? I mean, I teach math. Okay. Um, so who am I? A lot of people, or obviously most of your audience, probably all of them don't know who I am, which is okay. Well, and thank you all for joining in, and thank you, Christina, for having me on here. I appreciate that. Um,
No, it's my
I
pleasure.
am. Thank you. Um, I am the oldest of four children. I was born in Maryland. So I'll give you a brief history. Where I was from, lived there 20 years, tried to become McDonald's manager, was looking into aerospace, looking at all these things. And one day I was working at McDonald's and one of my cashiers couldn't count. So I said, you know what? Uh, I'm tired of this. Let me go. I should be in the school system. Well, lo and behold, McDonald's shut down my career opportunities in the region, in Philadelphia region. So I was like, all right. So I started substitute teaching, but I had already been a kindergarten teacher before that for 2 years. So, so I moved down here to Florida, and now I am been here 25 years at the end of this year. And now currently I'm a high school teacher. I teach math. I've taught math, history, Bible, science, a little bit of French. I taught 1 year of that to middle school kids. And now I teach finances to mostly high school juniors and seniors. And that's where
Mm.
I'm at these days. Um, I also do, like you mentioned, radio. I am a weekly radio show host on Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday at 6 with WPAT 9:30 a.m. And doing that, acting. I've been professionally acting for 7 years. I said I've been acting. I've been acting. I act every day. I act like I like my kids. so, so, so,
Right.
so I know
We all do.
I love them all. I do love them because I'm there. I love. It's not necessarily the job. Most people are like, oh, you hate teaching. No, I love teaching. It's the task of, okay, I know the material. It's the psychology of getting the children to want to accept what I have, what I know, and for them to advance in life. And since we're talking about money and everybody needs to know about money, and money
Right.
management, well, there you go. So I do that. And again, part-time acting's become more part-time, I guess. Whereas I wanted to go full-time, but 2020 shut that down. So basically, I'm in my 25th year teaching, 7th year professional acting. But if you count church plays when I was a little kid, I've been acting for 47 years, 47 years. And
Wow.
well, when your Sunday school teacher is the church play director and writes the plays, and she's your ride to church, and she tells your mom he's in the play, you don't have a
Yeah.
choice.
You're kind of stuck in that position. Like, you can't just sit
I've
it out and.
oh, I can't tell you how many times I've been a wise man. I was Joseph once, which is ironic because it's my name, Joe. But I played Grandpa. I played a reporter. I played Satan, and I played the devil. It's like
Uh,
so. I guess some kids think I'm the devil, because I'm a math teacher. But whatever, and I give a ton of homework. So, uh, but I say, look, you guys, I give a ton of work, and if they finish it in class, they don't have homework. But they get mad. I said, but you know what? Money takes work, right? If it's easier than it is to keep it. So yeah, so they're like, oh, well, so yeah, you got to learn how to make it move for you. So that's the part of the theories that I teach is how to make it work and how to keep it and know how financial operations are working. And I try to find them money. So, and I also try to find my children acting opportunities. That comes across through my agencies. So pass that on information on. So go ahead.
Oh, you're one of the few that care, huh? That's great, though.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of teachers who actually care. I think it's the
system.
Sometimes the system, but we have great leadership. We do in our school. We have good leadership. We have really good leadership. So I think it's parental involvement, and not only that, getting children to invest in themselves. Where we're in a instant gratification, even with adults, they want instant gratification. I want this now. I want you owe me this grade. I don't owe you anything, man. I have my diplomas. Right. I'm done. We're done. We're done. So I've jumped through my hoops, but I think it's the children wanting to invest and the bombardment of media. No, we knew growing up we had, when MTV came out, it was like, oh, I mean, they were, sitting in front of the television for hours. Well, now they carry it with them. It's like the world is in their hand. And with all that information, they don't know what to do with it. So they go to the simplest thing, which is entertainment, and it debases their intellect, their thought process. And when it comes to when I have a situation where they have to think, and I give them a thinking situation, they don't know what to do with it. Well, about half know what to do, half don't know what to do. So and again, I think it's a lot of it's upraising interactions, also real world experiences that impacts it a lot as well too.
Okay, so when you're doing your teaching, what is it called? Your plans and lesson plans. How do you integrate? What is kind of like a lesson plan that you have? How do you integrate with the phone and making sure that's like a positive thing versus a negative, and the involvement of the parents and whatnot into your lessons to come out into a good thing?
Right. Well, with the phone, with the phone, we try to I have them do research where we have Chromebooks or little laptops where they have to do research as well. And if the system goes down, well, then they have the phone. So what I try to do with that is have them do research. Like currently we're doing stock portfolios. I gave them $100,000. So they're like,
really Monopoly.
It's Monopoly money. It's like, here you go, $100,000. See what you can do with it. And so they have to use their phone on one hand for a calendar, and they have to they can use the computer. So they're doing research on one thing and working on another. But when I give them a chunk of work that requires them to stay focused, then that's where I start to see the diminished, when I put time frames on them. And then that's where I see the diminished phone use, because now they're focused in. And where we'll see the least amount of phone use is where I make them do things by hand to make them figure it out with a calculator and with formulas that require the calculator in class and so forth. So I try to keep with the parental involvement. I tell the parents ahead of time when they come visit the school at open house, this is what we're doing. And when I email parents, or when we have conferences and I tell them what we're doing, and they're like, oh yeah, that's great. It's real world. It's money. And so the majority of the parents are like, okay, they're great with that. They understand because they tell her. But what's also nice is that there are parents who have already started the savings process or the IRA, the retirement process with their kids already. I was like, awesome. So they're already setting things up.
Okay.
I said, those are the parents that didn't learn it and are now practicing it with their children, because we didn't learn it in high school 35 years ago. We didn't learn it 37 years ago. And I just started learning it for real about a dozen years ago when I started teaching, and I was like, oh, this is what this does. So they had me a course,
right?
Is they teach this, and I'm like, okay, I know most of this because I worked 12 years at McDonald's and 6 years at Walmart while I was teaching, and 2 years at kindergarten. And I was like, well, that just helps the mentality process, psychology process. And so I took all that process and said, okay, let's do it. And then the only thing I had to go brush up on was the retirement plans, the insurance, just things where I talk to people who are in that profession who give me wisdom, or have them speak to the kids, on Zoom or via video or something.
Yeah.
And so that helps the process a whole lot more, especially when they don't have to listen to me and this monotonous tone of voice.
Right. Right. I wonder, when you were in Florida, did you get hit by the hurricane? And if you did, how did it impact with the school and teaching?
Yeah, the hurricane. Yeah, I don't, because I know you're in Alaska. I don't know, because I guess the West Coast just got that cyclone bomb, whatever that was. When they.
Yeah, our water came up over on the highway too, and Whittier as well, as I found out like a couple days after you guys' hurricanes and stuff. I was like, well, that was weird.
Right.
So
and
that's what we got.
And I don't know if you get 120-mile-an-hour winds, but but the wind, because when I saw your cyclone, I saw some of them were 64 miles per hour. I was like, 64, that's it? Okay, whatever. Whatever.
That's what we say when you guys get hit with snow. All the United States, like 1 inch.
Yeah.
Really?
It's gonna be,
like,
yeah.
School's closed.
Whatever. We had, we're getting 32 degrees 33 degrees on Monday, so it's like whatever. But we had.
I guess he went out real quick.
So
yeah, I guess so, a little bit. Sorry,
okay.
I didn't know that was gonna go.
I just say, but we're getting 32 degrees on Monday, and it's like you guys are like whatever. So
that's our summer. Come on, man, send that back.
Yeah, heat wave.
Just don't send the snakes or the gators. We'll take the bears and the
right.
and we don't even have the fleas or the ticks. Nothing.
Ticks.
You
don't get that joy. So
no, I don't miss it.
Yeah. Well, when the hurricane came, we got two of them, Helene and Milton. So so we were shut down for a couple days, and a couple days here, a couple days there. One day it was like 3 or 4 days. They just basically shut down the week, because what happens is that there's the people from the coast have to come in and they need a shelter. Well, since we were in a very hard hit area. I mean, we got 70 to 80 gusts, but I was like, okay. And I was standing outside, we're Floridians. So that's a party. We're going to stand outside and watch the weather. So,
right. Barbecue.
Almost. I almost did. So the flooding is the biggest. The flooding was the biggest issue on the West Coast when Milton came in, and it just tore everything up. And when that salt water came over and it flooded on the causeway, and those bridges are elevated, but it's went up over that. They flooded the causeways. So it's like if you were on top, if you were at the height of the causeway, of course you would be stuck for a week, but you were safe. Or on top of a parking garage, like a friend of mine was 7 years ago. She slept for a couple of days in the parking garage because it was the top of it was safe. And so they flooded out and people moved in. So they moved into shelter. So our high school was a shelter for a couple of days. So you turn in the high schools into shelter. So people come in. So they have to close down the county. And anything over 35-mile-an-hour winds, the buses can't run anyway. So, but, prepping up to that point, it was sunny days where like where's this at? Where you at? Come on, And then it came and
Right.
went. All right. But what I liked about the wind is it pruned my palm tree and pulled out all the dead branches. So the next day I just went out there and, threw them out in the field next to my yard, next to my property, and or burned them, did something, or bonfire. So, but I only lost electricity 8 hours. I was fortunate, and a lot of people were without electricity for a week or two. But I tell you this, they found out that those electric vehicles don't do well salt water. So
No, I bet not. Like,
I mean,
geez.
somebody left their vehicle in their garage by the Gulf of Mexico, and it started a fire. And of course, the fire department can't get to it because it's flooded, so it burned the house down. So
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
I mean, Florida, we help. And there's a sense of community where if people are hurt, other people step in. Florida does that. It just we congregate. Somebody's got the tools. The trees come down. Somebody's got the chainsaws. It's like we say, don't discount. Is it? People make fun of the rednecks. I'm related to some of them. Be careful. So,
right.
but they have the tools. They know how to survive in the midst of all that. I do too. But when people who discount them, who all of a sudden need tools, and wait a minute, there's no food. Well, the guys you just criticized got the farms and the milk and the cows and the pigs. Oh, they got the food. All of a sudden now they're important. So,
right.
But that's slowly diminishing, because the students who go to school with each other are like, they know who the country boys are. They know where to find the food. They know who the resourceful people are, and they know who the moochers are. So so when something happens to a community, people step in, whether they know them or not. They're like, hey, do you need help? And you see a large community response to things like that. And that's what's great about when that's the good thing about when these things happen. Everybody's ready to go. And because we've been through this, 20 years ago, we had 4 hurricanes come through, and lost. So we've been through some. We're okay. We're all right.
Yeah, that sense of community. It's amazing when people step up. We have that up here too. Like, it's like where you're not going to be hungry. Let's just put it that way, because somebody will hunt, or
Right.
We got the glacier water or whatever. We had that with our earthquake, that big earthquake a couple of years ago. So, I mean, it was amazing how people unite on big things like that. And then, it sounds like, yeah, I'll stay up here. I feel a little bit safer. But
No.
yeah. So, I mean, were you ever in New York, since you do that show in New York, or how did that come up?
Yeah. Well, I'll go back to the New York, living there. I actually lived in Jersey City for 2 years. I was a kindergarten teacher in the morning, and they actually, I went up there to be the youth pastor for the teenagers. And they said, hey, do you like kids? I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here. They're like, no, do you like little kids? I got sandbagged into being a kindergarten teacher. So
And you survived.
Not the first 3 months where I almost quit. A 5-year-old girl almost made me quit. I was like,
we got to know that story. Come on, man.
Okay. Ironically, I wanted to say her name was actually Jennifer Lopez, but not the Jennifer Lopez. I know her name was Jennifer. I think it was actually Lopez. I'm pretty sure. Is that a Rodriguez? I don't know. It's one of those two. But anyway, now when I went in, the school had already started, so I went in like September. Funny, my first day there was middle of September of 1993, and so I was there, and I was like, man, this is definitely different from McDonald's, where I just left from Pennsylvania and came over there to this change of career, and I thought it was going to be a long-term thing, but things happen. And so while I'm there, the first couple of months, this little girl is giving me an attitude. I'm like, wait a minute. At McDonald's, I could tell kids to go scrub the toilets or go sweep the lot, go outside, go clean the lobby, whatever. I could do that.
Right.
What do you do with a 5-year-old that's under your care that she can't go anywhere because her mother's entrusted her to you? I was like, she can't. There's nowhere to go. I was like, oh well, because I was the only kindergarten teacher, so okay. She's like, I'm not doing it. Slamming it. And it was like 3 months. I was like, man, and I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm going to quit. So finally, I determined, you know what? I'm not going to let this 5-year-old beat me, kind of like kindergarten cop, where he broke out the whistle. I actually had a whistle. You were going to listen to me. You are not a princess. I don't care. I'm in charge. And she started crying. I'd be like, no, go. And then I played the psychology game. Go ahead and cry. Go ahead. It's okay. But eventually it worked out. And then, the classes got bigger because it started out kind of small. And then I ended up finally teaching I had about 15 kids because it was a private institution. And I had about 15 kids in my class, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I could teach kindergarten. I say with my eyes closed, but you got to keep your eyes open with these kids,
Yeah.
Eyes open. And if I heard that Barney song one more time, I was going to toss a child.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good old Barney.
It was at the height of Barney and the Magic School Bus, and the Power Rangers were coming in, and I was like, no. So I had to be creative.
And Elmo. Yeah.
And
Elmo.
Yeah. I think the Tickle Me Elmo came a couple years later. Oh, thank God. But I left there in 95, June of 95. But I lived in the funny thing is they said, well, we can't pay you that much, but we do have a loft because the church was a home missions church where if a guest speaker came in, rather than have them go into Jersey City to one of those sketchy motels or dangerous area, they had 2 lofts built for the speakers or missionaries who came in. And
okay.
I lived behind the left speaker. So that was my loft.
Well, if you miss church, there's a problem because you're sitting there living in the church. Come on, man.
Well, I missed it. I missed it 1 week because I had the flu. I had it real bad, and it's like
okay, well, that's a good excuse then.
Yeah, and that was, August, and the stinking thing was in the middle of summer. I was like, come on, at least be February. No, it was August.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, have you ever done the VBSs?
Yeah,
those were my favorite times.
Yes, yeah, I did those not in Jersey. I did them here in Florida. I was like, these kids are easy. As make something every craft day. As long as you get crafts, cookies, and juice, you're good.
Yep, and put on a play and the same song. Like you practice your song and keep it moving.
Keep it rolling. Yes.
Yep.
Those were fun. Those were a good day. I was a volunteer. I was the crafts guy for a couple of years, but I wasn't in charge. I was like, because I got pushed. I was like, the women were like, "You're helping. You're not in charge." I'm like, "All right, ladies, I'm listening. I'm just here to help. I'm the bouncer." Right.
That's one of those. Sounds good to me. We're good. Go for it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I did get nationally certified in Jersey for Child Development Associate, and then I went back to McDonald's and went from there. It was there. And that's where I tried to become a McDonald's corporate business consultant. But they were
okay.
But the stipulation for that region at that time was that if you worked for an owner operator or a franchise store, you couldn't be a corporate business consultant. I said, well, that's weird. Don't we all work for the Arches? It was just me. And you had to work for a corporate store. But when I was in class, there were 25 of us and none of us worked for a corporate store. So I was like, you know what? So I started coaching basketball, little rec league. One of the families, my store manager from McDonald's, her husband, got thrown into as head coach of the basketball league, and he goes, I don't know anything about this. He goes, do you know anything about this basketball. I was like, well, yeah, I played. I played. I know how to play the game. They're like, we need a coach. And I'm like, oh, great. We need a coach of 8 to 11-year-olds. so trial by fire. I've learned a little bit. So it
Well, if you survived kindergartners, you can survive anything. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
them and toddlers. So I think you were okay.
And sophomores in high school, middle school. Oh yeah, in middle school, teaching middle school. I taught 4 years. When I moved to Florida, my first 4 years of teaching were middle school. I call that boot camp. Yeah, it's like this roller coaster of emotions. It's like, you're gonna have 12 boyfriends between now and your senior year. Stop. Just stop.
Right. For real. And then in between all that, when did you become an actor? Like, how did all that roll in?
2015. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say in 2015, I was listening to a radio commercial, and I was just kind of feeling, I don't know, it was like blah, whatever, just that kind of day. Well, this commercial came on twice, and I turned it off, and it came on a third time. And having grew up in church and being me, and I follow the Bible as best as I can. I said, God literally punched me in my chest and said, apply. Oh. And I went, okay. And I was driving and I went, okay. So when I got home, I went online and applied, had an audition the next week. And then that next day, that morning, they called me in the middle of, they said, all right, we'll be in contact with you if we think you're a good fit for the agency. So I'm in the middle of service, and I look down and there's a message on my phone, and the guys that called me while I was in church. So after church, I made a phone call and they said, hey, can you be here tonight? Because we liked your audition yesterday and you had high energy. And I went, okay. And in 2016, I did training for a year. And at the beginning of 2017, there was a week, we had a showcase down in Kissimmee near Orlando, right outside, basically right outside Disney World. And did auditions, did workshops, met some famous actors, and auditioned. And I got picked up by 2 agents. And from there, I got my first golf. I got my first golf commercial where I'm just literally standing there looking down the court, and I got paid $150 to do this. That was it.
What?
Yeah.
We're in the wrong business at this point.
Well, the pay can be cheesy in some areas. The pay is horrible. It's like, really, because when you take out after taxes, it's like I can tutor 2 hours for more than that, and I don't have to drive. So it did, and then I got on the background of Dynasty, the new Dynasty. I was on the pilot episode. It was all right. It's all right. I mean, some people like it. I'm not. I was just, I was looking at the pilot when it came on YouTube, and I paused it and I showed my students. I said, "See that big head right there? That's me." So it's like this melon just sitting over her shoulder. There's me standing there, big as day.
Right. It's like, hi.
Yeah. And I didn't get much work that year because I didn't know what to do. My agents would send me stuff, but I was like, how do you fill this? How do you do this thing? So in 2018, or what happened in 2017, I went back for more training and then in 2018, my agent sent me this thing and said, hey, they need a group of mobsters for Ozark. And I was like, okay. And I had just had headshots, and I had the suit, and I had a black and white picture, and I'm sitting there like this, looking like I want to, shoot somebody or something. I don't know. So and they said, perfect. And I got picked up on Ozark, and I had a few feature shots there. Again, all these little people, and there's this melon right in the middle of the funeral scene. And then some friends taught me how to apply for jobs. So since then, I've been on, I guess, 35 movies, but mostly independent. So they're on different platforms.
Okay.
And 10 commercials. I was a bug guy. I was, yeah. People kept calling me and saying, "Hey, can you come?" That was in 2017. Can you come clear my bugs out? That was in 2017 also. And so I've been a
No,
bug
I
guy.
don't get paid for that.
Yeah, no. I've been cast for everything but a high school math teacher, which I actually am. So go figure. I don't know.
Well, all y'all need to cast him. Go find a, let's contact him to be able to do that because I know he'll be a good one. No, he's
Yeah.
trained well from the kids for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So it's
yeah, that's crazy. Have you done any like Christian movie? Have you been on the what is that, PureFlix or anything or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I was on. We have something called jcfilms.org, where I know it's a Christian film. We did. There was a time frame. Was it 2 years ago? Where I don't know if you remember. Everybody was talking about human trafficking, and people were making movies about human trafficking. So like 10, 15 movies came out. We made a couple. And I played a human trafficker. I trafficked children.
Oh, that had to be fun. That had to be real fun to try to do. Not sure how comfortable I would have been.
The first movie was kind of creepy. My character wasn't comfortable doing it. But in the second one, I was more than comfortable. I took this girl, and her parents were on set because it was a semi-open set where the girl was a minor, so parents had to be there. And I walked out and I said, which they should be, and I said, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna abduct your daughter, but I won't suffocate her." So
I don't know if I could have done that or put my kid through that. Honestly, that is that's a touchy subject.
Well, I showed them what I was doing because I cupped my hand so she could breathe, but my hand's big and this girl's little, and so I grabbed her and I took her out the door and walked her. My line that I had, and I had to keep taking her. I took her like 10 times. I was like, "I'm sorry." Afterwards, I'm like, "I'm sorry." I apologize. Oh. After a while, she's like, "I'm used to it by now." Yeah. She's used to being abducted. I'm like, "Don't get used to that."
Wait. That little girl says she's used to that? That's not a good sign.
No, when she was used to me. Not being abducted, just used to me.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because the dad was there, but the mother, it's a little Spanish girl. I was like, I see mom over there ready to throw something. So
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been that twice. I was on a movie. I was background news reporter with Kevin Sorbo. Him and his son Brandon. Where there was one we shot a year and a half ago. I can't say what it is because I'm getting in a couple weeks, 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm going to be on another movie. I'm the featured background. I don't have any speaking parts, but you can't miss this guy. So, I'm 280 pounds, 275, 280, and I'm going to be wearing. I'm going to be. You won't be. Just say you won't miss me. It's kind of it's like a Hallmarkish type of thing, Christmassy thing.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good because the crew is very, very professional out of LA and working with the LA Florida connection, Orlando. It's been growing for a while, and I know Atlanta's the place to be, but until something big makes me move there, I'm here. So,
right.
So that's going to be fun. And then, of course, auditioning. I've got, that's what I've been doing. So, and did a bunch of independent films this year where we shot locally, like down in Central Florida. And I was the not Christian, not family oriented. So I was a very bad dude, head of an assassin's agency, and my job was to take people out. So it was fun.
Oh, before God.
Yes, it's like, God, it's only a play. It's only a movie. You know that.
Well, I guess if he puts you in it, he'll lead and guide you everywhere where he's got to go.
That's right. So,
but if it helps bring awareness to me, if it helps bring awareness to the situation, it's definitely something I personally would do. Is something that would be like an awareness kind of film to help others.
With the first one, it was called Not for Sale. And so, like I said, it's on jcfilms.org. It may be on PureFlix or even Amazon Prime. And we actually, the owner of the agency, Jason Campbell, he connected with Lifeboat down here in Central Florida, who brings awareness to human trafficking. So, so at the end of the movie, the Lifeboat came on, and somebody told a story and so forth. So that's to bring big time awareness to that. And because at one time, Miami and Orlando were number 3 and 4 in the nation about 4 years ago with human trafficking. And
jeez.
Yes. And now it's like Vegas is up there. Of course, the big ones, LA, New York, Phoenix, just places where people have to pay attention because somebody, and with the social media and all those things, kids are, they're, what are they? They're, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Now I'm saying innocent, but they're naive. Kids are naive. They don't, we've been around, we've seen things, and these little children come in thinking that they can play the games that we know can't be played. And it's like, stop.
Right.
Don't play those. Yeah. Because everything's not what it seems on the internet, as if you don't know that by now. So that was a good project to work on and be a part of. And then the second one, I had to do some physical activity where I got arrested and they had to take me down. And these guys were rambunctious. I said, hold up. I'm going to throw myself onto the ground because I'm not getting paid for this part. So, because I don't want to be, so I made it look rough, but thank God it had rained that week and it was a soft ground. And so it was a good cushion. I said, but the guys didn't want to hurt me. I said, no, be rough with me. I'm a big guy. You guys are little. They got these 270-pound guys taking this 280 guy. And I'm like, be rough. Come on. You're FBI. You're supposed to be FBI. Take it. Go ahead. Grab me. And so that was actually good to look like I was taken down hard, but it wasn't. It was fun. That was
fun. I'm trying to imagine that. That's, oh man. Oh, geez.
That one's called Ghost Trader. Ghost Trader, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. Have you done any producing or anything like that?
Well, I helped with a couple scenes. What I've learned in the business is that if you contribute like financially, they make you an executive producer, or if you do something that contributes to the script or the story. Producing wise, I've done plays and things for church. I've actually got things I'm writing. I got ideas I'm flowing with. Now, if you count the radio show, I produce my own radio show. I mean, I'm not the engineer or anything, but everything I do on my radio show, it's all me. I'm my own writer. It's all my own material. And I just draw in from experience and, the world around me. And so basically, if you want to say executive producer, I'm producing my own show. So I do that every week. I've done plays and skits. I've written plays and so forth. Now, anything big on the camera, I have my name attached to a couple things, but I don't know. we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going, oh, I don't, I'm not, I don't have any control over who puts what on my IMDb, I guess. Maybe I do. I don't know. But.
Oh. Well, I got total control over mine. Am I missing something or something?
No. Just when people put stuff on, I guess I do. Meaning that I guess I could take off the credit if I want to. So there's probably, like I said, I'll just wait and see what happens. I'll just wait and see. Maybe because I just think that because I haven't tried it yet. That's probably why. I haven't tried to take things off so there are a couple of things on there where if I go back a few years, I'm gonna pluck them off. They're like, what was that? What was that movie about? I'm like, I don't know. When I wasn't in it. Or my scene was about, my scene was a birthday party. Well, I was at a birthday party. That was my scene,
Right.
Yeah. But I've had a little bit of say, where actors give ideas. But there was a couple where I was like, okay, I helped direct a few scenes, here and there, but names don't get put on. So it's like, no big deal. Where I've been in 6 music videos. That was fun.
Oh, music. What kind of music?
Oh, well, the latest one was it was a year and a half ago. It was country music, where it was, that was, I played, they called me we were called the Old Cats. I was like, okay, whatever.
They're using your
and they give us, it's the musician is Tim Duggar, and the song's called Buy a Bar. And he goes like, might as well buy a bar. And so they couldn't get enough older guys in their 60s and 70s. So I was one of the guys. Most of the people in the video were at least 20 to 25 years younger than me. So they put me in with my friend Mike, and Mike's 20 years older than me. So we're in this video, and we've got flip phones, the old cats. So, and that was fun. There's a Spanish musician, singer, her name's Bianca Love. I think it's Bianca Ortiz, but I think she goes by Bianca Love. And I've been in my first, I didn't know what she was saying. I just know I was in it. She was singing Spanish. I was like, okay, I'm just doing my thing. And I tell my students when we watch the video, I said, this is before I learned how to dance salsa. That's all. That was my discreditor. And if you ever watch it, you'll see. Because as soon as I stepped on set, they looked at me, and everybody looked at me and went, "You're the dad." Because again, most of the people there were in their young 20s, and her parents were in the video, but they were playing games, and they were playing dominoes, and they were playing the bongos or whatever. And so they're like, man, we need a dad to do the grill cook out on the grill. And they're like, do you know how to cook on the grill? I'm like, well, yeah, of course. They're like, well, you're the dad. And I just walked on set, and they're like, you're the dad. We haven't even had a conversation yet. I mean, I said, do you even know my name? Like, doesn't matter. You're dad. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So,
dad doesn't have a name, so neither does mom.
No. And so there's this kid that was next to me says, are you really going to cook that food? I'm like, yes. I said, I know you're in college, but I'm not. I said, here I am in the middle of summer as a teacher, limited with basically no income, just living off budgeting of what my last checks off the school year. And I'm like, yeah, I need food. I need food. This is food, man. It's like you haven't starved enough to know that you need this. So,
oh man,
yeah, I've been in 2 of her videos. I was a Geico basketball coach in 2019 with Ernie Johnson. That was I got to talk to him. He does the NBA Live. That was fun. I was in. Yeah, that one, and I was in another music video that's since been taken off the YouTube, but where I was a detective looking for a murderer, and we filmed it in 106-degree weather in Jacksonville, Florida, in July. Yeah,
You
so.
got that. Yeah, you could keep the weather too. I'm just saying. Like, nope, don't miss it. Like,
But the best thing I've done, and I just put it on my Facebook, because I had an interview for baseball, was when I played Babe Ruth. We shot that in 2020, so we're going on 5 years, almost 5 years since we shot it, and that was 3 weeks of filming in Central Florida, and that was fun because I grew up playing baseball. I mean, I was a baseball player. I read all the books on Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was from Maryland. I'm from Maryland. It was perfect. It was in the library. I read all the baseball stuff. And so they're like, hey, we got an opening for Babe Ruth. And I went, okay. Yeah. So that audition. And then when I did the audition on a Sunday, Monday they said you got the part. Tuesday I'm talking to the production manager. Thursday we're doing a table read. And on the next Monday we're filming. I'm like, that's how fast it moves. So,
wow. Now,
yeah.
Babe Ruth, that's a big one. That's like an honor on that end to play somebody like him.
Yeah. Yep. It
To
was
me.
because yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was an honor because you walk in the room and how everybody was like first in the other video, they're like, you're the dad. I walk in, nobody knew my name. Well, the bigger guy did. They're like, babe. They're like, okay, babe, all week. Hey, babe. I'm like, am I getting a date out of here? I'm like looking for somebody. That means there's a date coming. No, darn. No, it was professional. It was professional. But the kids, we worked. It was fun to play because it's called The Kid Who Only Hit Homers. It's on Amazon Prime. It was on another platform, but I guess I sent too many people to that platform. They took it off. BYU TV took it off. And
you would think that they want people on the platforms, right? Like that's kind of special.
I guess they were only coming for that movie. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? I even advertised it. I advertised, like, I give you free advertisement. Okay. Maybe they can sponsor my radio show. I don't know. That's an idea.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, like something.
Yeah. They can say, hey, sponsor us. Yeah. So like I said, that was an honor to do that. And because of who he was and meeting people on set. And one of the things I tell people as an actor is that, having been and being occasionally, a background actor, those are the people in the back. They don't talk. They move, they walk and so forth. And sometimes you'll see somebody that's just funny, has no lines. Like I said, in this next movie, I'm featured, which means I'm big. I'm in the middle of the scenes, but I've got no lines, that's fine. That's the acting part. You get to act like you're doing something, but you're not talking.
Right.
So getting on set, and I realized this from that perspective because I had a major part, or as a supporting actor, that the people who were my stand-ins, stand in the place for camera line and so forth, say, you know what, I've been in your position. And I swore that I have ever, and I said this myself, if I get in that position where I've got lines, the people who are background, I will talk to them. Because, it's like when actors walk by you, like there are some who will talk to you. And I've had great conversations on Ozark. Jason Bateman, he was cool. The guy that plays Cosgrove in the main mobster on Ozark, he was fun to talk to. He gave us all kinds of tips, and we had a great conversation. But I said, look, I'm going to treat these people. These people are human too. It's like they're not, I've been on some sets where they said, don't talk, don't move, or we'll kick you off. Don't talk to the talent. I mean,
what?
Wait a minute. Yeah, aren't we all talented? I thought no, but the paid talent, the main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, okay. I in certain sets, it's just because it's got a flow. They got a timeline. Time is money. Literally, it's a lot of money sometimes. And you got to keep flowing. It's like, I understand that, because I guess some people used to get on set and would they want an autograph or they'd act stupid. They'd waste time. It's like, this is a business. Let's go. This is money. So
Right. Yeah.
and people are invested in this. So I said, look, I'm going to be the guy that's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to treat you. And I did that. And doing that, the guy who was my background, my body double, my stand-in, I'll call it that. He was definitely smaller than me. So, but the guy was my body double. I said, look, I was talking to him, and he goes, we got to talking. He's a former New York cop. He was a New York Yankees fan. I was an Orioles fan. And we talked about the 1970s and the 80s baseball and got to talking and how many cards we had. And he ended up giving me three collector's items. And he said, just don't sell them. I said, no problem. So I've got these 3 cards that, from 1969 from some major players when the Orioles won the World Series. I went, amazing. And I made new friends because it's just that simple. Talk to people. We're all people, right? Just talk to people.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
that's like nurses. That's like nurses and doctors, and then the people who are in janitorial in the hospital. Like, they're all in the same hospital working. Everybody has a part to play or to do. They're equal,
Yeah. And in the school system, I will tell you, the custodial team, they're the people to know. They know where everything is. They know they keep secrets. They know about all kinds of teachers and their classrooms by the cleanliness or by how much trash is on the floor. They know who can control their classroom, and they don't have to step foot in it. They just know. They know. So by what's broken, what's been maintained, but that's right. Yes, everybody matters. That's true. Looking at this chat, everybody matters. Absolutely. Yep. And so I make friends. And you know what? One of the plant, he retired, but the plant manager for our school, I had a problem with the computer. He secretly goes, don't tell anybody. I said, not a word. He said, I'm a computer science was my degree. I was like, really? So he showed me, he fixed my computer, showed me a few things. I said, not a problem. And I was in charge of ticket sales for a couple of years at the high school for sports activity. So during football games, I would go and get all these guys food, and food is great diplomacy. It's something about food, and food and fellowship and breaking of bread with somebody else. It's just something that just brings people together. Like we got Thanksgiving tomorrow coming up, and we're going to be in a place where I don't know everybody. I know most of the people, the relatives and family, and I'm going to be like, who's that? And then whoever's sitting on the sideline, that's kind of like, because they're not family, we're like, who are you? Of course, I'm a big guy. I'm like, who are you? Who's this big quiet? Whatever. But to everybody, where no matter the job, everybody has a part in an organization, and bring like you and I got connected we got a mutual connection. No, it's just like these little things add up, and it's like all of a sudden Alaska meets Florida.
Right.
There we are.
Look, I'm still shocked at all of this now. Like, it's like, really? I was just trying to sit, and do my surgeries, and here we go. God is like, hey, so bam. like how you got hit in the chest by, I got the hey, so you do interviews or a podcast? Yep. And bam, here we go. All right, so now I got to get my stuff in gear.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I haven't done really an interview, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, I got some people for your show. I'm like, okay, because people are asking me when you're going to interview somebody, and I was like, I had 4 interviews fall apart. Locally, I was trying to get former students and another guys. Now I'm working. Okay, no problem. All right, we're gonna get, and they will get on, but now it's like, okay, this is going a whole nother direction, and like you and I are connected, and I've got these interviews set up starting next week. They're just, boom. So, yeah, just
Yep.
our world is spinning sometimes faster than we want, but we've got a small lull in between, and that's going to be our respite. And then here we go. When January 2025 comes in, showtime.
Yep. Yep. We got to be prepared for anything that's unexpected. I always
Yeah.
say I always prepare for the unexpected. I don't
Yes.
prepare for the expected. I prepare for the unexpected. And then I'm a little bit less cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at that point, I'm
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
and I don't know. And I have, and it's like, say, I'm not a typical hoarder kind of thing. My thing is God will give me all this stuff, or like I have to go buy this because I don't know what I'm using it for.
Right.
Um, uh, I don't know what I'm like, but somebody's gonna need it. And I don't say that to my, but I always know that God's like, okay, somebody will come up. I'm like, I have all this food, like here, just
Right.
over the years, just here. I can go into my house. Here's a whole bunch of meat, and it doesn't put a dent in my, or whatever, or a paper clip, or a can opener, or something. I don't know. I got a million things. I'm like, okay, all right. So my house is a storehouse at this point. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I just
I do.
accepted it.
No, because when you regenerate, when you give, we practice this. We talk about this at church. You can't outgive God ever, and
No.
the Bible says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and we talk about giving 10%. They're like, God only asked for 10. God owns it all, but just be the resource to help other people. And I'm like, okay. And I said, okay, so we have this cupboard at church where there are no rules on the food cupboard. You can put food in, you can take food out, and at will. And I was like, good, because there was a couple of days last summer I was like, I had no food. I grabbed 2 weeks worth of breakfast sandwiches, and they were filled to the brim. They said, take these breakfast sandwiches. We have too many, and I ate for 2 weeks. Just off breakfast sandwiches, but it was food. Who cares where it comes from? And then, of course, you talk about hoarding. I've got 50 math books in my house. I need to burn some.
Don't worry, I got psychology books. Believe it or not, I got math books, but do I look at them? No. Like he just keeps giving them to me, and then I got to go through that, and now you're gonna end up being my tutor because I'm back in the beginning. So, like.
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely, God provided.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I have no idea how God's going to do this, but I know the vision is huge with everybody. You know what I mean? And with people coming on to the shows, the podcast, not just mine, but different ones. But everybody is meant to be on there because you were saying that you were trying to get. But everybody's going to be meant who's supposed to be on your show will come onto your show. That's the people he provided for you, right? So, but everybody is working together in all types of situations and the gifts that are coming out, because it's time, whether we like it or not, we need to be supporting each other and not being a gatekeeper in the situations at all. And to me, if you're going through something or whatever, like you got a gift, you got going through something, you got a book, whatever it is you want to speak, you just need somebody to talk to. Like we're here. That's what we should be here, pushing each other up,
Absolutely.
On different topics, like cancer, whatever it is, like somebody's got something that they need to hear. Like, and it's around the world. That's the thing. These podcasts are amazing at this point, meeting people from a different part of the country, part of the world, just by sitting in the living room. This is my art room, but like
this is my kitchen because I got a sheet. What happened is my house flooded with the toilet, right? So I ripped my carpet up, and of course this was a while ago, but I couldn't afford to put the carpet. I say teacher pay. I can't afford to put the wood flooring down. I'll get there. It'll get there in due time. So my office where I did my auditions got flooded, so I had to push everything back into there, and I had to pull the sheet out and put it on this wall. So this is my audition studio / kitchen / tutoring session, whatever. I just use it's
Yeah.
all multi-purpose. So
Oh yeah.
whatever.
That's my room too, my bedroom. That's where I do my homework, the whole 9 yards. Like the computer is literally at my recliner, due to my medical issues. But my art, I made my living room into my dining room into an art studio. So everything I do in here, I'm trying to put it more, but it definitely got flooded too. So, so yeah, we utilize
We
what we
survived.
got, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
We've learned to overcome and survive and thrive no matter what the circumstance. You know, I said so. I was like, you know, I thought, you know, thinking back early 20-some years ago, I'm like, oh, that was the hardest part. No, I've been through harder. It's more difficult.
Yep.
It's traumatic. It's trauma, but to be on the other side of this and still going, you know, I tell people, I said this on my radio show last night. I said, hey, look, if I did not have Jesus, I would be a menace to society because I'm a big guy. I don't know what kind of trouble I would have got in, the addictions I might have had. I don't know. But God was, you know, the grace that was there for me not to have to see that, but to know where I'm at. We get through. We've got the grace and the mercy that's been extended to us, and we keep going and we extend that to other people.
Amen to that. Yeah. Amen to that. Because I was a menace to society. Then I met God. I guess I was the opposite. I wasn't raised in the church or grew up in the church, so I was a menace. And now I'm very thankful, like you, that God had really took me, and He's still working. We're still, I mean, the trauma has kind of left. We're still working things out, but I'm at a peaceful point in my life where I can sit back and say, you know what? Thank you. Just thank you.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for you, like I'm going through all this like spine issues all my life, whatever it is, I would be dead at this point because I would have just put myself in the grave with
Right.
with everything that's going on. You know what I mean? But I'm able to have, I'm able to pray, even if nobody hears me, nobody else in society hears me, or they're like, what do you call it, the narcissistic abuse or whatever happens. I can just be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take to myself. As I'm like maybe mopping or whatever, I'm just going to talk. Like, I can't do this. Just can't. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I wasn't raised. My parents sent me to church to get me out of the house. My parents, obviously, my household, there was a lot of cussing. My dad was a construction worker. My mom worked at the middle school and high school lunchrooms, and then she did other things later on. But it just over time. But that influence of all those people along the way.
Yep.
I used church just to get, because when I was grounded, I was like, I'm going to church just to get out of the house. I'm going to church.
That's the one. Like, oh, you can't go outside? Yeah, I can. I'm going to church. Thank you. I'm gonna go have fun.
Well, for a minute, anyway. A couple hours.
Yeah, that fed the good. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Now I can go back into my little room and sulk.
Right. I got home and go home and do. Go home. We couldn't go out and play football with the friends. At one point, I think it was 5th grade, I was grounded for 4 months because of my mouth. I told my mom to shut up once. Oh, I could.
Oh, she only gave you 4 months?
No. It was 2 weeks every time I opened my mouth.
And
one time I just hit 5 comments in a row, and it was like that was like 10 weeks. 10 weeks. Oh,
nice.
She kept the calendar. She kept the calendar too. Oh, it was horrible. And then my father said, "Oh yeah." Then my dad said, she wanted me to not play baseball. She wanted me to ground me from baseball. My father said, "No, I already paid for baseball. These boys are playing baseball. He can go to school, come home, go to baseball. That's it." And I did, And so basically I ended up being grounded all the way until the end of the school year. So I was like, from January to June, I was like, oh. So finally I was good. And then over the summer, I was able to go out and do stuff. So I got to go camp for a week. I was like, oh, this is what it's, just be good. And you can, But then I hit middle school and I became ooh, rough. Then I got rough. So then
Uh,
I calmed down my 10th grade year from going to church all those years. I finally calmed down because there was this little girl I had an interest in, and she said, "If you don't behave, I'm not going to date you." And I was like, "I'm good."
oh, enough said.
You know? And then from there, it just, you know, I had one intention. God's like, "Oh, I got you now. I got other intentions for you." So of course, I dated her to the end of high school and just went on to Bible college and McDonald's, and they call it math. Yeah, we got ministry, McDonald's, and math, and that's my M's, and then my Walmart's my W. It's upside down. So
oh, wow.
write a book about
I
that.
yeah, just and it had the W and the M like as the emblem on
Yeah.
your book.
like Sesame Street. One of these does not belong.
Oh, jeez. God, I remember that song. Now it's gonna be in my head. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh man,
Oh,
good old
Ladybug.
Sesame Street.
Yeah. I got that and Schoolhouse Rock. My
Yeah.
kids go, yeah, my students don't understand how I know so much. I said, I watch cartoons and I learned. Go figure. I paid attention to the vocabulary while I was eating cereal.
Back when they actually taught us something. Even Warner Brothers and the Animaniacs. I come home
Right.
and want to watch that, and learned about the states. Do I remember
Right.
it? No, but I'll remember it with the stupid song. But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
after that, you got me on that one. But
Right. Oh, man.
that and that Bill song. I'm just a Bill.
On Capitol Hill, yeah. He's on the step. He's just
Yeah. Yeah, like those. Yeah, before SpongeBob came out, I did not let my son do SpongeBob at all, and I had a caseworker. She yelled at me for having something else other than SpongeBob on the TV. I was just like, what? She's like,
But
oh
you know-
no, he's only 4. He shouldn't be watching this stuff. I'm not going to let my kid go brain dead either. So no, like, he banned Reba out of the house and I banned SpongeBob. We both had a veto. You know what I mean? So, okay. He said, but yeah, no, SpongeBob was not allowed at all. I just couldn't do it. It was just so stupid, you know?
And the innuendo in that was so subtle that I look back now and go, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what? Like, and then there was one, what was the other one? It was something in a pineapple. It was on Cartoon Network, and me and my brother used to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch. I wasn't a big Cartoon Network watcher. Well, if you say USA Network, if I go back 30-something years,
yeah,
Johnny Quest,
yeah, Johnny Quest, yeah. Yeah, you got Johnny Bravo and all kinds of, and then what were those other the cartoons? We had Felix the Cat and
Smurfs.
gosh, what was that? Yeah, then the other cats. It was a cool cat. God, what was his name?
Oh,
I don't want to say
Sylvester.
Not Sylvester. He was. I think he was the orange cat, but he was the alley cat or something.
Okay.
It was Heathcliff.
Right.
Good old Heathcliff, and there was some other cat. And Betty Boop and all those black and whites, man. Gosh, what happened to those days? I think we all grew up.
Yeah, we grew up, and I still occasionally I'll pull up, something and go, yeah, I'm gonna watch this, and this is pretty cool. And then, but anything from 20 years ago. I mean, when I had my family, the kids in the house.
Garfield.
Garfield, Garfield, yeah. Yeah, Garfield. Yeah, the lasagna. You like lasagna?
Yep.
But
yeah.
It's just having to monitor. Is like I can't tell you how many times I've watched Shark Tales and Monsters Inc. and all those.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! We had to go to a funeral in 2008 in Oklahoma, and that's a 1,000-mile drive each way. And yeah, play the video again. What? And I'm driving. I'm driving. So what am I doing? So I'm like, play. It's like,
Yeah, just keep them quiet at this point.
and it's like if I hear that Monsters Inc. tune one more time, oh my gosh! I said somebody change the movie. So Incredibles is all that, all that fun stuff. And
Yep.
so it was pretty. Most of it was pretty decent. It was okay. Like the Shark Slayer. It's like who's kids are running Shark Slayer. Oh, whatever. Okay, eat your vegetables. So,
yeah, for real.
But
oh man.
But it's
yeah.
But just the changing over time, and now it's like I don't even. Of course, now I'm just so busy, and the kids are like, do you watch this or that?" I'm like, "No." When school's in session, if I get 30 minutes of visual time at all per day on the Monday through Friday, I'm fortunate. Even on the weekend, I was like, I'm catching up and doing other things, and then then I'll catch some football, of course, football. But outside of that, I'm pretty going, and of course, working on now all these other. Now I'm like really focused because we got talk shows and interviews and things coming left and right. Trying to do in this movie. So yeah, it's the days go by so fast.
Yeah, right, dude. I missed a whole quiz. Was it on Tuesday?
Wow.
Like I actually was in class, and then the quiz was open for hours, and I'm usually pretty good. Like that day went. I don't know where the heck that day went, but now I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fail it. I'm not even gonna make an excuse at this point anymore. But my medical's been taking over on that. But like that,
Right.
Those days do go by fast. I was like, oh my god! And I just realized this morning, I missed the quiz. Like where did yesterday go? First of all, like,
Right.
like I'm not even knowing. Missed my stepmom's birthday, which I'm sorry, Mom. But on Monday, it's like, dude, like,
I was out there cutting because they were like, "What are you going to do over break? You going to relax?" I'm like, "No, I still have papers to grade. I have things to do."
yeah.
So I got it, and I haven't graded one paper. Oh, that's Wednesday. Graded one paper. I'll do it Friday night. Maybe tomorrow after dinner, I'll be like, all right, put on a football game and grade papers or a movie, whatever, something. I'll just do something and just keep busy grading papers. And,
The background noise.
Yeah, just so I can get it done because we, like I said, when we get back on Monday, we have 3 weeks left before Christmas break, and I've already got that planned out, and it's going to be, it's diced up nicely, so I can be like, when Christmas break comes, 2.5 weeks of that, yeah.
Yep.
Staying steady.
I got today and tomorrow. I'm doing all my research papers, everything that's due.
There you go.
I'm staying home. Like,
there you go.
So how, your broadcast,
right.
I know our viewers, your broadcast, how can we get a hold of you is it just through your email to be able to go on the broadcast on yours?
To be on the show? Yeah.
Yes.
If somebody to be on the show, yeah, just email me at Joe. Okay. Yeah, I think you had the email up earlier. Here you go. So you email me through there, and you want to be on the show, and we'll set it up. I go live, like we can record at any time, right? I can record at any time, but I'm generally live because I only have that 1 hour a week because I'm under somebody else's radio show. But it is my hour, so I get to do whatever I want within, of course, I keep it family friendly, most, nice. And we just set it up because I go live every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that goes through New York City, and that's great that goes to over 100, goes to a large audience, listening audience up there, and online, and people are listening. I've got more people in Florida and around the nation and around the world now starting to listen to the show. I'm like, okay. And then I need to get and then when I start doing these interviews, we're going to start having them because it's not my Zoom room that we go through. We're going to have them videotaped, and then I can put it out there on the, on my YouTube channel. And then people can say, oh, hey, I can put information out how to contact people and so forth. So we can do that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And can people call over the phone, or it's actually on video while you're doing this?
No. Well, they can. I have them text. Like I'll have people text because I don't have the way it's set up. It's just it's just me. So I'm not like sitting here with the phone going, microphone, whatever. But they can text me. They can text through. That's not a problem. Yes, and they can do that. People can text me, and of course it's the show, and I'll announce it on the show every Tuesday. But the show it's WPAT 930am.com. And but my show's it's only on live Tuesdays from 6 to 7 Eastern Standard Time. So it's not like you're going to hear a recording of it later on some other time, because the radio station, it's a multicultural radio station. So it has a lot of, so throughout the day, if you clicked on any other time, you might hear Spanish music, you might hear Chinese programming, you might hear preaching from New York City. Usually it's the Black preachers. And then, of course, my friend Ralph Romeo, he's got his shows on, or you might hear him. So, but again, mine's just that 1 hour. Of course, the first 3 minutes are advertisements, but 57 minutes of, all right, let's get it. So.
Okay.
And if we want to YouTube,
yeah, go ahead.
As I said, if we want to record another time and make it bigger, so I can have a bigger, larger platform, just stick it on YouTube, and I can always arrange that as well.
Okay. And what kind of topics do you talk about with your guests?
Whatever. I talk, like I said, well, I haven't interviewed anybody. I don't know. So I have a list. Go ahead.
What's the vision? What's the vision of it?
Well, I have a retired teacher. He's out of San Diego. And
okay.
He came through Steve. It was actually Steve's teacher back in the day. And,
Mr. Hopkins.
Mr. Hopkins. Yeah, I have Scott Hopkins. He's going to be on.
He's a great guy.
We're going to have him on. He's going to be my first official guest, I guess. And then there's some people can't say yet, but we're going to have I got some. So we're talking about people's either their teaching careers, where they're at now, former actors, from all kinds of walks of life. I have some former students who are musicians who are like, "Can I play a song?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." You don't want me to sing, I promise you.
I just teach math. We're good.
Yeah, I teach, I tutor, I act. I pretend like I like people sometimes. No, I'm kidding. I love people generally, but yeah, you got moments. But just the teenage antics. It's like, I'm not your homie. I'm not your buddy. I'm your teacher. And yes, I will snitch on you. Absolutely. So yeah, I got to protect. I got to protect the school and the class. I got to protect the kid. I got to protect the kid from him or her. Usually it's him. It's a boy. Usually it's a boy. I got to protect the children from themselves. And
absolutely,
whether they know it or not. So, but we just talk about whatever the conversation goes, it rolls, and we just tell them make sure we're live and keep it clean. And got some actors that have been around a while. We're going to talk about their history and where they've come through, and have fun with it. Just have fun. I've already talked to a couple of these guys on the phone, and oh my gosh, it's been a trip already. I was like, let's keep that rapport going. Let's see how this goes. So make my first interviews fun, So anyway, so that's where we're gonna go with.
Okay, well, it sounds like fun, honestly. I mean, yeah, everybody on the walk of the earth. It doesn't matter where you come from. go check him out, guys. Please go check him out and really contact him. I know you guys have a story to tell, to chit chat, whatever it is. Please go do that. And I would love to hear what's going on. And right now, we're going to thank our sponsors on this, and have a 30-second video from our sponsors from Electric Lips Comics. I cannot ever say that. My lips don't say that right. But Electric Lips Comics. And I actually got boots from them for winter, just saying. I have, everybody's like, oh, you didn't change your boots? No. So these things work. So on their merchandise, I can actually say in Alaska, these boots work for great. It keeps my feet warm completely. I was on the ocean, and the only thing that was warm was my feet. I'm telling you. But like, I'm just saying, I love them. Honestly, I'm going to get them for summer too, because I'm going to take them out hiking. But yeah, so let's go with their promo, and we'll be right back.
An elven warrior trapped on modern-day Earth. Two friends with different destinies meet at a magical school. These are some of the stories we at Electric Lips Comics are working on. You can get your copies of both The Mana Chronicles and Tales of Mithril at elpmerch.com. Support independent creators. Explore the merch featuring exciting ELP Comics art with a wide range of designs. Electric Lips Comics. Imagination electrified.
Awesome.
Okay. And actually, and Michael W. Rogers Photography. He's in Las Vegas, but he's willing to travel. So please go wake him up. Please go wake him up. He doesn't mind when you call him every hour. But he does really great work in photography, and he's done my work. I'm very particular in my photographs, but he does headshots, boudoir, all kinds of photography, weddings, the kids, whatever it is. So check him out. His thing is michaelwrogersphoto.com. And yeah, so look him up and then give him a call off of his website. So, Mr. Ray, if you could leave a legacy, what would your legacy be on this earth?
Well, my legacy, I think, would be know your vision, know why you're here. It took me a while to get it, and know your purpose. And that's my goal, is to teach children how to find their purpose. And I utilize my resources to help them stay focused and to stay focused, know your purpose, and have fun while you're doing it, because you got to get connected to people in order for everything to work. And I think the legacy is just to teach, I guess overall, is just teaching children, teaching people how to connect with other people, utilizing all their gifts and passing that on to the next generation.
That's an awesome legacy, honestly. And we would love to hear from your students as well, like with you on the panel, see what kind of memories they got. You know what I mean? They definitely want to get your students like, oh, I want some stories.
If you get the kids from 20 years ago, they got better stories. They have better stories. Middle school, let's just say I was not a great classroom manager peacefully. I was not a peaceful classroom manager for middle school kids. I have some things that I'm not so proud of, not destructive, nothing immoral, just, like, we won't have enough time. Just say, like, some kid will tell you about a launching of a stapler across the room. Things like that.
Oh, the good kids. My site right there.
I did stuff one kid in a trash can in 6th grade. He was a 6th grader. He stole candy out of my desk, but his mom worked for the school, and she said, beat him. She was Greek and Italian. She's like, beat him. I'm like, I can't beat him. But then one day he took that candy and went, I can't beat you. So I folded him, and he was a short little kid, so I folded him up and stuffed him in the trash can.
Oh my.
I pulled him back out.
Boy.
And we're
Jeez.
good friends today. I don't know. We see each other like, hey.
Oh man. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to hear the children's point of view. Well, the young adults at this point. Definitely
Yes.
want them on to hear those stories. We're gonna have that topic of Mr. Ray's.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, but we
Okay.
want to thank you for your we want to thank you for your time and your stories, and we definitely want to hear more. Absolutely, lots more. There's so much more to go dig through, and we definitely want to make sure that your story gets out and everything that you're doing. So whatever you're doing, please, please let us know, and we'll share it. Whatever we have to do, make sure you're all good and set and supported. So with that being said, we are going to end the show. And we thank you, Susan. We thank you, David. We saw all your posts and everything like that. So we thank you for engaging, and please engage more into all the stories and whatnot. So your voice actually matters. Everybody's voice actually matters. So we thank you.
All right.